Welcome to In the Zone. I am Craig Zimmerman, and we are into number 89, and it is Marine City St. Clair Football Week. And I welcome in Joe Phillips. Welcome in, Joe.
Yeah, thank you, Craig. Thanks for having me.
So, Joe, I said before we started it, I'll wear the shirt. You've got the shirt, but we won't go into the weeds of it, and I'll change my shirt if I have to, but no, it's all good. It's Marine City
Absolutely, absolutely.
So in these interviews, I'd like to just introduce the guest and sort of get a flavor for where they were born and raised, and tell me about you.
Yeah, I'm Joe Phillips. So I'm originally born and raised in Warren. Grew up there, went for Warren Consolidated Schools, lived by like 14 in Shaner. And then, I have 4 siblings. So mom and dad, house got a little too small, kids got a little too big, needed a bigger yard, so we ended up moving back to East China where my dad's a Marine City guy.
I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, dad's a Marine City guy, mom's Armada. So, dad always wanted to get, his kids back into East China schools, and we moved here when I was in 6th grade, and yeah, I started at SCMS and kind of worked my way up.
Okay. How about your siblings? Older, younger? What are they?
So I got older brother Jack. He's 4 years older than me. And then there's me. And then there's Josh, who's 4 years younger. And then I have a sister named Savannah, who's 1 year younger. She's 18, but about to be a senior, or is a senior. And James, who's the youngest, he's 4 years younger than them. So we're all about 4 years apart.
So there's still some Phillipses going through it.
Yep, there'll be some Phillips in East China schools here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me about your mother, father. How was it? Being in 6th grade, do you remember as being a discussion point of, say, moving back?
So I do. So I loved my elementary school. I love the, people I kind of grew up with.
Yeah.
With Warren, it's kind of, where I was at was very suburbs. You go to your friend's house, you play ball with them. Mm-hmm. So I had a tight group of friends, and when I first heard about it, I started crying. I was like, no, I don't want to go. I don't want to. But, of course, our parents, everyone knows parents know best, and it was a great decision. Everyone in my family is very successful and happy. So am I. So
okay. So it's one of those things. Probably 6th grade is a good time to come because it's that change from grade school.
Right. So grade school to middle school. Middle school you're meeting new people, all from different elementary. So I was always when I first got here I was very shy and timid. But within a few months of school I was able to kind of blossom and get some friends and everything. So
okay. So then you go on to middle school, then to high school.
Go to high school.
Tell me about high school a little bit.
High school. So yeah, I had played baseball, football, and basketball. Had a bunch of great coaches there. The great Denny White, James Bishop, all those guys. So I ended up kind of making my core group of friends around the athletes and stuff. But I was always loved talking to people and learning about people. So I always had a pretty big group of friends. But yeah, basically my life in high school was. Did well academically. Parents kind of stressed that, so I was always worked hard academically. But football was number one. I loved football. I loved the game of football, and I was always a football guy. Okay. But baseball was also a love. When I first moved here, that's what really helped me make friends. Was Denny White kind of took me under his wing. Talked to me a lot about the importance of team, being a team. Mm-hmm. And, so I owe a lot to that man. He's awesome. So,
what position in baseball?
Baseball, I was in high school. I was right field, and I pitched. And then after high school, I ended up pitching for 2 years at SC4 for Coach Cocky over there. So
okay. So you go to high school. Then how did you progress through to think about college and where to go to college and what to go to college for?
Yeah. So. My junior, senior year, I always loved sports, and I was also really into social studies and history. So I figured the best path for me was going to be a teacher. My game plan was to go the cheapest route. So, like I said, went to SC4, played baseball, got my gen eds covered at SC4, and then transferred to Oakland, and I'm in my 3rd year at Oakland in the teaching program there. So, yeah.
And so how did you look at other schools to go to, or was that because of the closeness? Wayne State, any others?
It was Oakland's teaching program was something that really stood out to me. So the way Oakland's work is, you do 4 years of your regular like history and social studies classes, and then 1 year of student teaching. But with that 5 years, you get a master's degree as well.
Okay.
So I saw that opportunity, and I was like, oh, I got to take advantage of this. Don't have to go to school again.
Sure.
So I saw that, and I was like, I'm going to Oakland. So.
Okay. Which has gotten to be a nice complex as far as sporting events or even the campus.
Absolutely, especially with Oakland making the NCAA tournament. Beating Kentucky in the first round there, it was crazy. It was a great time to be a Grizz. So.
Now, for people that don't know it, Coach Campy has been there for, I want to say, darn near 40 years.
It's been a long time.
Long time.
It's been a very long time.
Which is almost unheard of in the college ranks.
Oh, yeah.
And, I find it interesting that when you look at the long-time coaches in Division I sports, they tend to, go somewhere, hop around, go to a bigger school, and chase the money.
Right.
And Coach Campy really hasn't done that, so it's very interesting.
Yeah, very, very interesting. The guy loves OU,
yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Very cool, very cool. So besides that, you're also student teaching.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So I'm student teaching at Marysville with Derek Meyer, who's the head football coach at Marysville.
Was that set up by somebody?
That was totally coincidental.
Okay.
So the way that kind of works is Oakland, their professors and the people who organize everything, they call schools, say who can take this guy who wants to be a teacher and wants to craft his profession. And Marysville's decided Derek Meyer was my guy. And it's been great so far. He's been a great mentor teaching-wise, and very excited to see how this next 2 semesters kind of fall into
Do you
place.
ever talk X's and O's?
Not really.
We're in season, so it's tough.
We're in season,
right.
It's tough. He's very he gets it. He's a teacher. He's been through the student teaching, ordeal. So he'll poke some jabs at me, which is awesome. He's a football guy. I'm a football guy. We get along.
Okay.
So.
Yep. So besides that, you're student teaching. Are you still attending classes?
So yeah, I'm a full-time student as well. So I have 3 classes right now at OU. So my schedule is pretty hectic with coaching, going to Marysville, then going to OU. So it's
Talk about the coaching thing.
coaching. So yeah, I started coaching right after I was done with SC4 baseball. I had a great 2 years and just really wanted to get back into football. I love football. I've always been a football guy. So I kind of, asked Coach Bishop at the time. I was like, is there any way I can volunteer and help out? And he offered me the JV defensive coordinator role. So I was like, yeah, that's perfect. Awesome. Yeah. So been doing that. Coached with Coach Fox for 2 years. He was a great mentor, helped me out a lot. Now with Coach Schindler, he's phenomenal. Does a great job at the JV level.
I got to believe with Coach Fox, there's a lot of X's and O's to gain from a guy like that.
Yeah, I mean, just being a guy who I always want to learn. I enjoy the learning process of football and in general. So yeah, I was always, asking him questions like, hey, what about, when you were coaching in this year against this? And yeah, he'd always help me out with that. So yeah, great couple of years there with Coach Fox.
Okay, now you're doing JV.
Yeah.
And you're doing defense.
Yep, okay. I'm the defensive coordinator for JV. I also do the offensive line. We have me and Coach Schindler are there, so we have to really diversify our roles there. But I'm really happy with how much work he's put in, how much work everybody's put in. Tom, Jagger, Coach Ski has been killing it. I mean, very happy to be a part of this staff. I mean, I really believe that.
Was there a lot of learning curve to changing, say, your offense and different things like that, or facing the offense as a defensive-minded guy?
Yeah, so I learned kind of late that I was going to do offensive line. So it was a lot for me because, I've been a defensive guy. Me and Coach Tatman, Parker, we sit down, we discuss the defense. We know the defense very well. So when I was told, you're going to have to do O-line, I sat down with Jagger. He really gave me the X's and O's, kind of really tutored me, and Coach Ski as well. I mean, they do a great job of really getting their coaches in the best position to teach what we want for offense.
Now, I'm assuming JV has less plays in their playbook than varsity, generally?
To an extent. We do our best. Our 2 goals on JV is to prepare them for varsity and to win ball games. Yep. That's our goal. So defensive-wise, I will say it is almost exactly the same.
Okay, yep.
Offensive-wise, we do a little bit less, but not much at all. They will be ready for varsity football. That's our goal. So
How many kids on the team roughly?
So we 33. So yeah.
Divide that amongst the coaches, and there's plenty of things to do on a practice.
Oh my goodness, never a dull moment at practice.
So give me a day in the life of a JV football coach. What time's practice start?
So we usually get going around 2:35. That's right after school ends. We really our offensive or our practice plans have a little changed because Coach Ski brought a lot of stuff over from Ferris. So he kind of really gave us that kind of script and how they do things, and we kind of adopted that. At the JV, a little simpler, but. Usually we'll do, a stretch. We do a thing called Champions Chase, do some offensive indie, defensive indie time, different kind of drills to get our guys right. And then we'll do Team O, Team D, where we run the other team's plays and kind of get a look of what they're trying to do, how we're trying to stop it, things like that.
How long in general would you run their offense versus your defense, and then vice versa on the other side?
So the way I like to do things, the first day, like a Monday, we come in. I like to, I give all the kids a scouting report. This is what I think they're going to do. This is what, this is kind of the guys that we want to look out for. Really, keep tabs on this guy, and we'll kind of walk through everything. So we'll set up formations. We'll set up plays. This is what they're going to try to do. This is how we're going to stop it. At least that's the plan.
Right.
So that seems to have worked these last 2 or 3 years. So I kind of stuck with that. That's kind of how we deal with
I've always said it seems like when people are watching a game and they don't know about the coaching aspect, it's different through a different set of lenses almost. Right?
Yeah.
You're going to look at things differently, and look at the way guys' feet are going. The way they're blocking in a specific scheme.
Yes, attention to detail is critical. Players know that, coaches know that. I think that's a thing that kind of might get overlooked in the public.
Sure.
Attention to detail is crucial, and it's what we really harp on it.
So you've got Marine City Week. Is that a Thursday night game?
That will be Thursday night.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So Thursday night JV, Friday night varsity. So.
Okay. I think we got everything covered. Other than. You better mention your mother, your father, your sibling. You got your siblings by name, just so they get their names. So when they watch it, you got it covered.
Dad's Jack, mom's Jennifer. Happily married for 30 plus years. So,
There you go. Okay.
Absolutely.
I don't want to get a call from mother,
Mom,
father,
Dad.
exactly, saying what the positive. Now, Paul Dingaman said so many good things about you, so you got to live up to that.
Yeah, I started working for Paul after high school. Any odds and ends stuff, he calls me, and I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Paul's the man. So yeah.
So we are now not quite the middle of September. You're 2 weeks down, 7 weeks remaining, correct? JV does not have a playoff. Varsity does. So I'm assuming that a fair amount of your kids from JV are going to go up to varsity playoff time.
Playoff time, yeah. That's something the coaching staff will kind of get together, evaluate, and decide who can really benefit that team come postseason. Things happen all the time. So we got it, like we said, our job's to prepare them for varsity, and they will be come that time.
Roughly speaking, how many kids do you have? And I haven't brought up this subject before, but you've got the fifth quarter.
Yes.
I'll explain it just and you can hop in. But the fifth quarter is for JV kids, ninth grade if you had a team or whatever, so that they can play up for a fifth quarter on a varsity sport. Correct? Yeah.
So the fifth quarter, it was primarily enforced for schools with less kids, right? So you can have more kids play on varsity. We usually have a few fifth quarter kids come up, show their skills on varsity level, come any time of the game. So they're only allowed to play one quarter, though.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. So you've got a handful of those guys that are probably playing up on Fridays.
Absolutely. 4 or 5 of the kids.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we covered it all. Thank you for coming in, Joe Phillips.
Yeah, thank you so much, Craig.
We'll see you Thursday. We'll see you Friday.
We'll see you then.
Good luck.
Good luck. You too.
Phone number's there if you know of anybody else that should be on this show, 586-707-5811. We'll say, go Mariners, go Saints, Thursday, Friday night. Number 89 in the books.
Awesome.